Oh, by the way, kalau siapa yang masuk awal sikit, kita akan start dalam 3 minit lagi kot. So, kiranya sekarang ni just nak set up and hantar link lah kiranya. So, siapa yang dah duduk kat sini boleh rehat je. Rehat 3 minit pun. Okay, so sekarang nak kena tengok ni. Anyone that is already here, please say hi and please let me know whether can you guys hear me clearly or not. Because otherwise, we have to use the mic. Kalau semua settle, then kita boleh pakai apa yang ada je. Kalau tak, kena tukar kepada mic. By the way, how was your weekend? Is everyone okay with your weekend? Are you guys doing good? So now I have to go to my slide. Where is it? Let's see. Okay. Oh, by the way, this time can you guys change to 720? I'm not sure. Saya dah buat setting tapi saya tak sure boleh ke tak 720 tu. Oh, tak boleh lah. Masih 240. Why ah? Tapi saya dah adjust dah dia punya streaming tu. Kenapa masih 240? Oh my god. Or perhaps next time saya kena besarkan sikit kot dia punya font. Ataupun font tak boleh pakai font yang ni lah kot. Next time saya pakai yang bulat-bulat sikit. Yang ni macam just for fun lah font ni. Tak boleh tukar Tapi saya dah tukar dah. Quality jadi 720. Masih 240. Oh, kesian awak Fad. Or should I send you this, what to say, this slide first. Saya send slide dululah. Tapi kalau saya send slide, maksudnya saya kena keluar daripada sini. Okay. Jap. Fikir. Kalau saya send slide ni, saya keluar daripada sini. Okay, tak apa. Macam nak bawa diri. Sampai je lah. Jangan macam tu, Fat. Oi. Okay, never mind. Let us start then. Okay, so this is chapter 9, differentiation. We are at the second lecture out of 5. So we have done the first lecture where we have learned how to do differentiation by using the first principle. So you actually have two formula for differentiation using the first principle. The first one is a general rule where you are calculating the limit for h approaching 0. So those are for the general rule. And then we have the limit as x approaches a. So that is for a specific point. So basically, if we want to check the differentiability at a specific point, we are going to use the limit as x approaches a. Okay, next. Right, we have done 9.1. So I have done it last time. Okay, so we have done 9.1. So now we are going to proceed with 9.2. I think I left another 3 rules. So last time we have done the power rule as well as the sum rule. So we have done two things. So today we are going to proceed to the product rule, the quotient rule, and then the chain rule. So we got another 3 over here. And then we will do 9.3, differentiation of exponential and logarithmic function. So basically exponential and logarithmic function. And then this coming Wednesday, I think we are going to finish with 9.3. And then the next week, on Wednesday, we are going to do 9.4. And then that week, we are going to do 9.5. Okay, so we have to learn product rule, quotient rule, chain rule, and then derivative of exponential function as well as logarithmic function. Okay, so now these are the rules of differentiation. So last time I give you 2 only, which is the basic rule as well as the sum rule. So today we are going to learn the product rule, the quotient rule as well as the chain rule. Okay, so product rule, differentiating uv, of course, uv prime plus with vu prime. A quotient rule, so basically if you have a fraction, then it will be vu prime minus uv prime over v square. So I'm sure you are good with these two, as well as the chain rule, where if you have dy over dx, that is actually dy over du multiply with du over dx. Okay, can I give me 1 second? I want to check first and see if I can change the setting somewhere. Let's see. Oh, cannot. Ada tak mana-mana? Oh, tak ada. Okay, never mind. So I have to go back to the slide. Okay. Okay, next. Kalau tak nampak, never mind lah. Next time saya hantar slide dulu, baru kita buat lecture. So that you guys can see on your own and then hear me. Okay, so number 1A, differentiate each of the following functions. So we have px equal to 3x squared minus 1 multiply with 7 plus with 2x cubed. Okay, so what happened? So basically this is a product. Why we call them a product is because we have a multiplication between two functions. So we have one function over here multiply with another function over here. So this is a product rule. So we have to differentiate them using the product rule. So the first one will be a u, the second one will become a v. Okay, so u is equal to 3x squared minus 1. So basically, you're going to differentiate them using the basic rule of differentiation. So 3x squared, in order to differentiate them, you have to bring down the power first. So 3 will be multiplied with 2, which is 6. And then don't forget, you have to deduct 1 to the power of x. So they will become 6x. And then differentiating negative 1 is just a constant. So when we differentiate negative 1, they will become 0. So that means u prime will be equal to 6x. Okay, so v is equal to 7 plus with 2x cubed. So differentiating 7 is just a constant. So when you differentiate 7, you are going to get 0. Differentiating 2x cubed, so you're going to bring down the power. So take the power, bring them down. So 3 multiplied with 2, so that will become 6. And then don't forget, you have to deduct 1 to the power. So they will become x squared. Okay, next. Okay, so 6x squared, those are v prime. Okay, so now what's the formula? The formula is uv prime plus with vu prime. So u multiply with v prime plus v multiply with u prime. So that's the reason why I have u prime, v prime. And then we kind of cross them together. So uv prime. Okay, so they will become 3x squared minus 1 multiply with 6x squared plus 7 plus 2x cubed multiply with 6x. So that is what we are going to do. So this is the product rule. Okay, and then of course you should expand them, or you can simplify them directly if you want to. You can actually factorize 6x directly and then just keep whatever you have left, or you can choose to expand them first and then simplify later. Okay, so for me, I choose to expand them first. So 3x squared multiply with 6x squared. So those will become 18x to the power of 4. And then negative 1 multiply with 6x squared. Those will become negative 6x squared. And then 7 multiply with 6x. Those will become 42x. And then 3x squared multiply with 6x. So those will become 18. Oh my god. Oh, ni 2 sebenarnya. Salah. Okay, so 2x cubed multiply with 6x. So those will become 12x to the power of 4. Salah copy. Sorry. Okay, and then of course 18 plus with 12x to the power of 4. So those will become 30x to the power of 4. Minus with 6x squared and then plus with 42x. And then if you do see something that can be factorized, do factorize them. So I have 36 and 42. So we do have a common factor between them, which is 6. And then we have x to the power of 4, x squared as well as x. So the common factor for them is simply x. So we can actually factorize 6x. Okay, so if you factorize 6x, you are going to get 5x to the power of 3 minus with x and then plus with 7. So those are your final answer. Okay, so those are very simple. We just need to make sure we have u, v, and then differentiate u, differentiate v, and then use the formula u v prime plus v u prime. Okay, so that is A. Let us proceed to B. B is quite easy. Okay, differentiate 3x squared multiply with 5x plus 1. Of course, you can choose to expand them. Actually, if you want to, you can actually expand them first and then simply differentiate them by using the power rule. But since we are currently learning about the product rule, let us use the product rule. So, there are not only one method to solve a differentiation question. Sometimes you can choose which formula do you want to use. For example, this kind of question, right? So you can choose to expand them first and then differentiate using the power rule, or you can use the product rule directly. So up to you which one you are more comfortable with. But since we are learning about the product rule, we have no choice but to do the product rule first. Okay, so now 3x squared multiply with 5x plus 1. So one of them will become u, the next one will become a v. So we have a multiplication between these two. So this one will become u. So this one will become v. So do make sure it is always u multiply with v. Okay, so u is 3x squared, v is 5x plus 1. Okay, so differentiating 3x squared, of course, you should bring the power down first. So 3 will be multiplied with 2. And then don't forget, you have to deduct 1 to the power of x. So they will become x to the power of 1. So 3 times 2, 6x. So u prime is equal to 6x. Right, so what about v? V is 5x plus 1. So this is x to the power of 1. So 1 multiplied with 5 is 5. And then minus 1 to the power. So we got x 1 minus 1, which is 0. So x to the power of 0 is directly equal to 1. So therefore, for this one, v prime is simply equal to 5. And then of course, we have to use the product rule, u v prime plus with vu prime. So always remember, you have to cross them. Okay, so what will happen is that we are going to have 3x squared multiplied with 5 plus with 6x multiplied with 5x plus 1. So 3x squared multiplied with 5 plus 5x plus 1 multiplied with 6x. And then of course, you can choose to expand them first and factorize later. Or if you can see something that can be factorized out for both them, then you can factorize them actually. Okay, so I do have 3x squared over here. Meanwhile, this is 6x. So I do see something in common between them, which is I have 3x multiply with x over here. And this is 3x multiply with 2. So that means I can actually factorize out the 3x. Okay, so if I factorize out the 3x, I will have x multiply with 5. So that one will give me 5x. And then 2 multiply with 5x, those will become 10x. 2 multiply with 1, those will become 2. Okay, so we have 3x outside and then x multiply with 5. So this is x multiply with 5. So that is how you get 5x. And then we have 5x multiply with 2 and then 1 multiplied with 2. So that is how you get 5x plus 10x plus with 2. Okay, so those will become 3x multiply with 15x and then plus with 2. Boleh tak saya cakap macam ni? Semenjak laptop tu rosak kan, saya sangat menghargai laptop tu. Aduh, hai. Even though this one macam selesa lah juga nak guna, tapi macam I miss that laptop. Okay. Example 2, differentiate each of the following functions. So we have fx equal to x squared minus 1 over x to the power of 4 plus 1. Okay, so directly, when you see them, this is actually a fraction, right? So we have a fraction. So we do have a function at the top. We do have some function at the bottom. So this is actually a fraction, a rational fraction, in fact. Okay, so now one of them will become u, another one will become v. So of course, based on our formula, at the top, those will become u. At the bottom, those will become v. So we have u over v. Okay, so u is equal to x squared minus 1. V is equal to x to the power of 4 plus with 1. And then of course, you just need to use the basic rule for them. Differentiating x squared, so we have 2 as the power. Make sure to bring them down. And then deduct 1 to the power. So those will become 2x. And then we have x to the power of 4. So this one is 4. Make sure you bring them down. So those will become 4x to the power of 3. And then the formula is vu prime minus uv prime over v square. So always remember, you will have something with v square at the bottom. So be extra careful. Jangan tertinggal salah Okay, so vu prime. So we are going to get x to the power of 4 plus 1 multiply with 2x minus x squared minus 1 multiply with 4x cubed over x to the power of 4 plus with 1 and then square. So at the bottom, those are actually v square. Okay, so vu prime minus uv prime over v square. Mari tengok kalau expand nampak clear tak? Boleh lah, sikit-sikit. Kalau tak okey juga, nanti kita pakai Telegram je lah. Okay, so now let me factorize them. What do we see in common? Okay, so I do see I have 2x over here. This is 4x cubed, right? So 4x cubed, I know that they are actually 2x multiply with 2x square. Oh, wow, masa ni lah dia nak potong rumput. Aku tension. Asal lah. Kena kuat lagi lah. Right, so now that means factorize 2x. Okay, so when you factorize 2x, you are going to get x to the power of 4 plus with 1. Okay, so this actually comes from the front where you have x to the power of 4 plus with 1. And then you will have 2x square multiply with x square. And don't forget, you have to multiply with the negative sign in front as well. So x square multiply with 2x square and then multiply with negative 1. So that is how you get negative 2x to the power of 4. And then the next one, you are going to have negative 1 multiply with 2x square multiply with negative 1. Okay, so negative 1 because this one is negative 1. Multiply with another 2x square and then multiply with negative 1. So those are how you get 2x square. So kalau tak boleh laju macam ni, dia kena buat slow-slow lah. Maksudnya kena expand dulu and then baru factorize. Okay, so what do we have in common? So we have x to the power of 4 here and then negative 2x to the power of 4. So you can actually combine them together. So they will become negative x to the power of 4. So negative x to the power of 4 plus 1 plus with 2x square multiply with 2x over x to the power of 4 plus 1 square. Okay, so that is basically how we are going to do the quotient rule. Saya slow cakap, dia pun slow juga. Ish, stress betul aku. Dia macam tak tahu je aku dah berhenti cakap. Dia pun stop lah. Okay, next. Jangan bibir banyak. Okay, differentiate. 1 minus 2x multiply with 3x plus 2 over 5x minus with 4. Okay, so what is the first thing that you see over here? The first thing that we see is that we got a fraction. So if you have a fraction, therefore you need to use a quotient rule. So that is the first thing. However, for your numerator, you actually have a product between two functions. Therefore, you need to use a product rule. Okay, so the first thing, we see some fraction over there. So do remember to separate them into u and v. So u will become 1 minus 2x multiply with 3x plus 2 and then v will become 5x minus 4. Okay, and then for u, we actually have a product over here. Therefore, you have to use another u and v. But we already have the u and v. So you might want to call this one as a perhaps. And then call this one as b. So the formula will become ab prime plus ba prime. Sebab tak nak confuse lah banyak-banyak uv lagi pening pula kan. So we just change the formula to become a and b. So if you don't want a and b, you can also use c and d, m, n, l, k, whatever. Okay, so now a is equal to 1 minus 2x. So that means a prime will become negative 2. B is equal to 3x plus 2. Which means that b will be equal to 3. And then of course we have to use the formula ab prime plus ba prime. So they will become 3x plus 2 multiply with negative 2. And then plus 1 minus 2x multiply with 3. Ayo, bising pula dia ni. Oh my god. This is so stressful. Aku cakap tu. Dia tak mau tukar apa. Okay, and then you can actually expand them and simplify to get what is your u prime. Okay, so 3x multiply them with negative 2. So those will become negative 6x, negative 4, positive 3, negative 6x. Tapi okey ke suara sekarang? Sebab kat luar tu tengah potong rumput gila kuat tu. Boleh dengar Boleh ke? Kalau tak dengar saya macam nak tukar tempat. Boleh? Oh, okey. So kiranya Mac dia tapis lah kot. Tak tahulah nak kata. Okay, so expand them. So those will give you negative 6x, negative 4 plus with 3, negative 6x. And then of course negative 6x, negative 6x, those will become negative 12x. And then negative 4 plus with 3, so those will become negative 1. So we got negative 12x, negative 1. So those are simply for u prime. And then v is equal to 5x minus 4. Okay, so it's not that hard, right? So v prime is simply equal to 5. So we just bring the power down and then deduct 1 to the power. So those will become 5 multiplied with 1, x to the power of 0. So v prime is simply equal to 5. So now we are going to use the formula vu prime. So vu prime minus uv prime over v square. So it's a bit long, but we just have to calculate them. Okay, so v multiplied with u prime, and then u multiplied with v prime, and then over v square. Okay, so 5x minus 4 multiplied with negative 12x, negative 1, minus with 5, multiply with 1 minus 2x, 3x plus 2 over 5x minus 4 square. And then of course you can actually expand them, simplify them. So do that and I'll give you the final answer for them, which is negative 30x squared plus with 48x minus with 6 over 5x minus 4 square. Okay, so I give the answer to you. You can just expand them and simplify them and let me know if you couldn't get whatever I wrote down over there. Nak jimat masa lah ni sebenarnya, because we do have one more for 9.2. We actually have one more thing.